G'day, I'm Steve Wisbey OAM, but you can just call me that fundraiser guy. I'm an expert when it comes to fundraising, so I am that fundraiser guy. Now, previously in the last episode, we talked about the most important ingredient in a fundraiser, the cause. You haven't seen the award-winning piece of cinematic mastery with the cause? You didn't watch the last episode? Go back and watch, go back! Anyway, for the uninitiated, the cause is what you are fundraising for, the reason. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again exactly the way I said it last time. The most successful, wonderful, inspiring fundraisers come from your awesome, great big beating heart. Yep, they germinate from that tiny little seed of pain, heartache, anger, love, emotion. Now, that seed is very important. It's the seed of authenticity that grows your fundraiser into something magical. Like the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, but your fundraiser is the big leafy, growy, viney, stalky thing that shoots into the sky of likes and follows, and donations rain down upon you, and no one gets chased by a giant. I'm sure I've said that before. Deja vu. So you've decided on your cause, but there are things now that need to be determined, now that you've got steely focus on your cause. For illustration purposes, I baked this cause earlier so I could show you how it tastes straight out of the oven. Kids in Africa with AIDS. Now that was my cause. I watched a documentary and it told the story of all these kids being born with HIV because it was really going through communities across South Africa. Parents were dying with AIDS and the kids were left impoverished as orphans in townships. I was quite determined to do something, but I didn't have a clue. I researched, I Googled, I got out the old telephone and I made things happen. I didn't want to raise money for a global charity knowing that maybe 20% would eventually get to the people that needed it, and I didn't want to give it to someone in another country that I didn't know or trust. I needed to find the right organisation that aligned with my goals, and through all that research and referrals from people and due diligence, we chose Akaya Latemba, Home of Hope in Hout Bay, South Africa. I read articles about them, the corporate governance statements, mission statement, goals. I had lengthy conversations on the telephone with the general manager and staff. We did emails and all that sort of stuff. We corresponded about what they needed. And then I had to find out before we'd even raised $1, or in Australian colloquialism, before we'd even raised the brass razoo, how we'd go about transferring from Australian dollars to South African, tax implications including deductibility, currency exchange, what our dollar was worth in terms of what it could buy them, all that sort of stuff. You really need to think about these things with every fundraiser because you don't waste money. And donors don't want to give you their hard-earned money only to find it's disappeared or been mishandled. So to me, one of the saddest things is when fundraisers stuff up because we lose people that cared enough to give to us and they often then say, I'll never donate to them again because of that one time. I don't want you to be the cause of that one time at band camp that they lost faith in giving. So we really have to be transparent in all our dealings, above reproach. Now, I don't touch the money. I would always suggest to sidle up to your friendly local accountant, church treasurer, sports club treasurer, get them in on the fundraiser. A responsible third party can support you and keep you at arm's length from the cash. I prefer accountants. I don't know a single accounting firm in the world that can't smell a proper marketing opportunity. Ward's Accounting Group, can I help you? Can I speak to Damien Ward, please? Putting you through. Damien speaking. Oh, g'day, mate, it's Wiz. But you may know me as that fundraiser guy. Listen, I'm doing a 24-hour challenge of crazy people getting sponsored to ride indoor cycles to raise money for kids in Africa. Yeah, I'll make you the major sponsor. Your logo will be on all the social media, the t-shirt, well, maybe a blimp in the sky, maybe. Minimum on the back of my car. Your entire staff, they can have awards team. I'll waive the entry fee. Just think of the positive exposure for your company. Your clients are going to love it. Hey, could you even organise a clients team? I reckon I'll probably get quite a few more new customers for you out of this. All you have to do is look after all the money, do all the accounts, statement of donation, and I won't charge you the normal major sponsorship fee. We'll waive it. What a deal. That's how you roll. My advice is don't ever touch the money, ever. Don't keep it in a tin. Always have witnesses and make it clear you have an accountant doing everything transparent and above board. I do sound like I'm being a worrywart, but seriously, perception is everything, and your good intentions won't save you if there is a breach of trust. Those things, breaches of trust, ruin careers, lives, and involve the police. All that sort of thing goes against what your heart was calling you to do in the first place. Now, I also wanted to make sure once the fundraiser was complete that everything was hunky-dory. I'd never done an overseas charity, so I wanted to visit the school with my family and see how the Aussies had helped these kids. Did I use the fundraising money to go on safari? Of course I didn't, no! But there's always one person. I was going to say Karen, but I'm not discarinating any longer. It only takes one person to suggest I raised all that money to go on a holiday to South Africa. That's why I'm glad I had the foresight to have our major sponsor, the accountant, draw up the proceeds, ingoing and outgoing, the acquittal of the final donation to the charity, reflecting the fact that all the money raised went to the right place at the right time. You can have the best intentions, but always assess the risks and protect yourself. Protect your own backside. I paid personally for the school trip with the family, and we worked in the school, seeing firsthand and documenting the enormous good we, along with our fellow Australian donors, provided for these aspirational African kids that deserved a positive future that I believe only education and a full belly can provide. And I'm so very glad we did. Our family shared sadness, joy, fear, disappointment and love. And I think for my niece Clara and my stepdaughter Brittany, who were 15 at the time, and my wife Mandy and I, it was a profound experience. It made us feel extremely grateful for our lives in Australia, and it was also rewarding to be part of such a wonderful organisation in South Africa for that time. We've gone on to raise more money for them since the visit, but we could only afford to go once. Okay, so that was our cause that we prepared for you earlier. Akaya Lathemba, a non-governmental organisation working to provide a safe and nurturing space for orphaned and vulnerable children between the ages of 6 and 12. The organisation achieves this by providing a structured, holistic after-school care program and family support centre which is in the interest of the children. 120 children attend the programs daily. They're nurtured, they're cared for, they're fed a hot meal by a passionate team of 11 teachers. We were passionate about the cause, but what did we do before we created our fundraiser? Well, step 2, due diligence. That's what that was all about. I was reinforcing the importance of due diligence, taking reasonable steps to make sure that you're not making risky or poor decisions, paying too much or breaking any regulations or rules. Always do your due diligence first. Hey, I do say this about everything nowadays. Actually, not dating, due diligence. Buying a car, due diligence. Anything. Your kids want to set up a lemonade stand to raise money for the baseball team. Due diligence. Okay, due diligence in this chance is making sure you live in a good neighbourhood where it's safe to hawk their lemonade to passers-by, free from weirdos, free from weirdos. Make sure you can see the little cherubs at all time. In advance, organise at least one friend or relative, nanny, grandma, poppy, pa, to randomly drop by and make a purchase. That'll make their day. Check your home insurance policy to make sure lemonade poisoning or yard sale trip and fall is covered for these sorts of things. Stuff like that. Stuff like that is very important. Step 2 is always about the due diligence once you've decided on the cause. Due diligence also includes checking whether you need local, state or federal permission to fundraise. Do you need a permit to set up a lemonade stand? Is this a GoFundMe kind of thing you're doing? Well, maybe. Hey, do you even know what fees online fundraisers charge to be loving and supportive? Is anyone actually interested in my cause? And will they donate? Research. Basically all the boring, mundane, horrible yet necessary things you need to do once you have a cause, but before you launch the exciting, extravagant fundraiser. Phew. Step 2. Thanks for joining me. I'm that fundraiser guy. I'll be back soon with more fun and exciting ways for you to change the world one fundraiser at a time. Coming soon will be great tutorials on how not to be maimed or injured at a fundraiser and how I nearly lost an eye. See you later.